go to my topic now. My topic is very simple. And it's about broadcasters and broadcast teams. And through the many years of pro wrestling, we've had some good ones, some terrible ones, and all that. It's as simple as this. I just want you to give each of us to reveal our personal Mount Rushmore of all-time broadcast teams in the history of professional wrestling. It doesn't have to be WWE. It can be any era, any promotion. Doesn't matter. What you guys start first? And I'll come in after.
Are we going one at a time, or are we doing all four at once?
Oh, let's go one at a time. Let's have fun with it.
All okay. Right. Mike, you want to give yours, or you want me to start?
I'm just going to hit the nail on the head here, and I'm probably going to hit what would be my top one. Give me Gorilla and Bobby Heenan.
When you stop.
Yeah, that's my number one. With a bullet. Every time this question gets asked, it's Gorilla and Bobby, without question. Always at the top.
That yours too?
Mm-hmm.
Give me, number one on top of me is give me Gorilla and Jesse. I am the biggest
Jesse Monsoon.
So,
Thermite Paint McMahon.
WrestleMania 5 is Jesse's fucking masterpiece. That entire fucking event, he was off the fucking chain.
Shocker. Mega Powers Explode. I think
but it's Jesse from like
Shocker.
Post, dude, was on fire.
But it's funny. You're like, oh, it's his coming out party because you've watched that almost as much as you watched.
No. His coming out party. To me, that was his masterpiece. To me, that was like his
WrestleMania 5 is his masterpiece, kind of like Royal Rumble 2020.
Fine. The reason I love Fast Forward has nothing to do with Hogan and Savage. It's really Jesse and Gorilla. That make
They were a great team.
You've watched that show about as many times as Rumble 2020
because of Jesse and fucking Gorilla. That's why.
Because of Savage Hogan. Don't lie to us. Paul Orndorff feud of the year.
That's not the best Savage Hogan match of all time, though.
Doesn't matter. It's Savage. You watch everything Savage related, you dummy.
But not that match.
Oh, nope. Yeah.
First name, whatever. Last name, you're an idiot.
Jeez. Give me Savage and Hogan from 1990 on the main event.
Ain't gonna happen.
But yeah, yeah, sorry, I'm on my phone. Ventura and Gorilla. I'm actually editing shit as I'm fucking doing this. So
today, Junior.
Next, Fatty. Which one?
Shut up.
I'm gonna take JR and King because I think that's the next slam dunk.
Yep, that's me. This is simple. This is easy.
So, I mean, I can't stand Lawler. I really can't. I
can't stand Lawler now, but him and JR as a team?
JR is the only reason they're even worth a fucking damn. Because Lawler is shit. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. You also decided to skip out on a lot of Jerry the King Lawler where he was fucking entertaining as fuck whenever you took your sabbatical from wrestling. He was still a good commentator from 2000 to fucking the time he decided to have a heart attack. Sorry. That was really when the broadcasting should have stopped.
I don't know. I would put him in there, but spoiler alert here, Jesse's on this list twice. Okay? Jesse and Vince.
Oh, God.
I actually love Jesse and Vince at main event. I actually love them.
Nope. They're not jumping the guys that I have on my list.
That's why
I'm not saying they weren't.
This is my list. That's your list.
Your list is garbage. I'm just the one that's going to call you out on it.
You can be wrong.
You can be wrong. You can have opinions.
And be okay with
all of them wrong,
motherfucker. But I love Jesse and Vince. That's the only scenario why I actually think Vince is actually really good is with Jesse. It wasn't bad with Jay.
Again.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
Number 3. Go ahead.
I think this is where I'm going to differentiate from Big Jim here, and I think that's
ECW?
Okay.
ECW?
I was going to go with, Joey Styles.
I knew we were going to go there. He was on consideration, too, for the record.
The one-man broadcast team, that guy was fucking amazing.
I mean, he was amazing. He really was. He was under consideration on my list, too. So He
I
didn't
mean,
crack.
really, for my number 3, you can go Vince McMahon and insert wrestler here, like the run where he had with DiBiase was on, and Piper was on, and Savage was on. But my favorite of that whole bunch, Vince McMahon, Mr. Perfect.
That's a good one.
Really?
I like that one.
Good.
Perfect was good for that role.
Oh, he was fantastic in that role.
I'm trying to find my list here. Give me a second because I lost it.
Wow, of course you did.
Shocular. I'm going to go, this is not in order, difference ball 2. I am not a fan of 3-man booths. However, this one actually was really good. WCW. Give me Tony Schiavone, Larry Zbyszko, and Bobby Heenan.
All right, solid team.
Bobby was still great in WCW, just for the record.
Yeah,
I like it.
I don't have issues with that one. Yeah, I mean, the 3-man team thing, it just, you have to have the right, it can't be forced, it can't be contrived.
Right.
So many times now it is. Like, and both companies, and I tweeted this last night, is like both companies need to realize less is more with commentary sometimes. And I mean that too, not just 3 men, but also like with the number and frequency of guests.
Mm-hmm.
Like AEW.
Yeah, I don't need a guest segment every
for the first hour. AEW had a guest on commentary, different guests. Like, and it was one thing during the pandemic because you had to create noise. Like WWE, I felt, and AEW both, like they had a lot of guests on commentary when there was no crowd in the audience. That whole period of time is a whole separate. That's just that's a bubble in and of itself. But like now, why do you have 4 men, 5 men booths all the time? Stop.
Annoying as shit.
Yeah.
Rick Boogs.
Boogs.
Okay, 4th one, last one.
I'm going back and forth now because the team I had on there, I think I'm going to move to my honorable mention segment. I'm actually going to go Michael Cole and Taz.
Not bad, actually. Not bad.
They were on my honorable mention list as well as Gorilla and Jesse, because I liked Gorilla and Jesse together.
Mm-hmm.
More than I did Vince and Jesse.
Right.
And I also had the Nitro 3-man booth on my honorable mention as well. But yeah,
okay.
Correct. And then my other honorable mention was the team that I had in 4th place. And this is gonna get a chuckle, but I thought for the crew, and then I'll let you guys talk about it. I had Don West and Mike Tenay from the early NWA days.
Okay.
They were
fun.
They were energetic. It was fun though, and Mike Tenay always got like super passionate in the storylines, and then Don West just sitting over there going like, "Mike, you need to relax before you have a heart attack. Does anyone want to buy some baseball cards? Hit me up, Don West."
Oh my god, dude!
Wasn't Tenay also on Thunder as well too?
Mm-hmm.
On Thunder?
Tenay was. I don't know if him and Don West were a team on Thunder.
No, not Don West. Tenay was on Thunder.
Tenay was. He was also on Nitro.
Tenay's actually underrated.
Yeah, Tenay's really good.
I had him and Don West as an honorable mention. I had them at 4th. I've now changed to Cole and Taz.
Ryan and I went to a TNA show at the York Fair one year, and it rained. The ring's out in like the fucking track of this fucking like horse track, basically. So like the ring's wet. The wrestling sucked because the ring was wet. So guys are just trying to not kill themselves. But we met Jeff Jarrett, Velvet Sky after the show, and Don West. And like there, I have a picture. I have to try and find it somewhere of Ryan with Don West, and Don West just looks hammered. He may have been hammered. I don't know, but he looked wasted, and it's the funniest fucking picture ever. But my 4th team, honest to God, and I think it's because like for the past 5-6 years, maybe even a little bit more, like commentary has almost become just background noise. to the action more times than not. But Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are so goddamn good that in an era where commentary doesn't matter, they make it fucking matter. And they're having so much fun with it. And
Agreed.
my favorite part about it is it is making people appreciate Michael Cole while he's still doing
That's
it.
true. This is true.
Yeah, I would
Cole-
probably have McAfee and Cole up there on my honorable mentions, and they're probably definitely within striking distance of getting
Like,
into the top four
Michael
if they stay
Cole-
together for another
Likewise.
year.
Michael
They
Cole
were
is
in a
so good
consideration.
at calling wrestling and being on commentary, but people, because of the failed fucking heel turn thing and all the kind of dumb shit they did for so many years, people started to throw shade at Michael Cole. But I like
Here comes the big dog.
it's finally coming back. Well, and then people also don't
It's
realize.
boss time.
I
Yeah.
mean, people also don't realize that that's not under his control either.
Yeah, we get that.
But like, what you guys do because you're smart. Well, Mike's smart. EJ, you're
Fuck off,
Thank
fatty.
you. Thank you so much.
But like,
Fuck you, Michael.
but like,
Hey, buddy, he's just telling it how it is, man.
yeah, I mean,
No.
I don't make the rules. But like, the people being able to appreciate Michael Cole while he's still doing it.
No,
makes
it's so
him
true.
better.
No, it's so true. And when I was doing the list, he was under consideration, really, honestly, because the only reason I didn't put him in my four was because it's only about a year and a half old, But I think we do this again in 5 years, he might crack the 5, a 4 rather. So, 4 for me is Gorilla and Bobby. Like it came out of Gorilla and Bobby, and honestly, it was either him or JR and Lawler, and to me, JR and Lawler is pretty much really mostly JR, in my opinion. JR makes Lawler great, in my opinion. It is Lawler any other combination to me does not work. I never liked any other combination he's done outside JR. So Gorilla and Bobby. Now the thing with Gorilla and Bobby was funny is that I actually like Gorilla and Bobby more in the studio, primetime wrestling, than I
Okay.
do in commentary. Actually, that's not great commentary. They are great commentary, but to me, the Gorilla Bobby dynamic is really at its peak in the studio. When you have a 2-hour show, and then they're able to just bullshit outside of wrestling, oh, it's fantastic. But I'll go Gorilla and Bobby as well, too, because what they did in Royal Rumble 92, what they did in WrestleMania 7, after Jesse left the company, and Bobby seemingly just fits in there, and this is after they did the whole Roddy Piper Vince thing, which was stupid as shit, arguably one of the worst, if not the worst broadcast team in that company's history. I couldn't stand Roddy Piper on commentary. I'm sorry. He was just too much.
Do you want me to leave the show? I can just leave the show.
Look at the size of that hammock.
You
Dude.
know this, though. But, Jim, you know this already.
Piper's so good. I fucking love Roddy Piper so
I
much.
think Piper as a baby face is probably a little more annoying. If he was the heel Piper from like 86, 85, and he put him in that, I could say, okay, fine. But he was a baby face in 1990. It was just too much.
Yeah, no, I'll take Roddy Piper on commentary. He was fantastic.
I loved it.
Look at the size of that ham hock.
I'll tell you who sucked, though. I hate to say it. It's Savage.
Yeah, Savage wasn't great.
No.
Because I don't think he ever wanted to do it.
Okay.
I think that was the big thing with him. But like the Piper was on commentary for my favorite SummerSlam of all time, SummerSlam 90. So
And that's where he annoyed me, right there. Right there. That's A1. So I watched the SummerSlam so many times.
Noise.
Underrated commentary teams that don't get any love here.
Jerry the King Lawler and Michael Cole.
they had a great dynamic with each other.
I've told you I like Corey Graves. I just know which combination I prefer.
I'll take Graves on his run in NXT over either of his main roster show runs. I think him and Byron Saxton are too much together at times.
Yeah, they forced like the heel babyface dynamic between the two of them too much.
And I think that's the thing. Like King and JR, like the whole like King would say something ridiculous, and it would be like the Gorilla Bobby thing. Will you stop? Like Byron Saxton's trying to play the role of Gorilla Monsoon by being like super like a yippy Pomeranian and had too much fucking caffeine, and Corey Graves just like, shut up, Saxton, you idiot.
Right.
Yeah, so it comes off too forced. Honestly, I would personally love the Corey Graves Michael Cole team to come back together. That was kind of fun.
I was going to say that.
I personally think Corey Graves and Pat McAfee would make an interesting mixture. But then you don't have anyone to call the dynamic of what's going on in the ring like Cole does.
They've done it before, I think, in the past. Though I think they've done it a couple of times where all three guys were on there.
And I would love a 3-man booth of Cole, McAfee, and Graves.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But I think
don't mess with a good thing.
No. I'm not saying to mess with a good thing. If Pat was open more to being around on Monday nights, I would potentially move a 3-man booth on Monday and then leave Pat and Cole by themselves on Friday on Revis Island, because they've got that on lockdown and it's great what they're doing on SmackDown with the two of them. But I would bring Pat in every once in a while on a Monday night. Maybe not every Monday, but just bring him in on a Monday night here or there.
Like a special.
You know, I think it could be fun where, you know, Pat shows up, does a segment or two, but isn't there for the whole night, kind of thing.
Where are you guys on Renee Young?
I loved her when she was there, but I don't think that she was a part of Crack's my top 5 or top 6.
Yeah, I thought she did. I thought she did a great job in every role she did with the company. I don't. Again, unfortunately, it like her time on commentary with WWE came at a point where just in the company, in the business as it is, just commentary doesn't matter.
I didn't hate her with Graves and Cole, actually. I didn't hate it. But I get it. It's background noise. At that point, 2019 is background noise. Totally get that.
See, the way I look at it is she plays the role that Byron Saxton's trying to play better than Byron Saxton can.
Right.
So I would definitely have that 3-person panel ahead of anything with Byron Saxton in it with Graves. So it's like, I love what she did, but she did it at a time where A, it didn't matter all that much, and B, it's kind of heavily forgotten. A lot of her stuff is more of the backstage, Raw talk, SmackDown, all that stuff, you know, which I think she should get a lot of credit for, because those were all great shows and segments and stuff like that. I think that's the thing, is she's not really remembered for her commentary. Michael Cole is remembered for his commentary, not the fact that he was a backstage interviewer in the Attitude Era. You know, King and JR, commentators, not the Memphis, Tennessee great wrestler and JR's barbecue sauce. It's the fact that they were probably 2 of the greatest commentators of all time. You know, everyone, when you talk to a wrestling fan that isn't someone that scabbers the internet for old school wrestling, you bring up Jerry the King Lawler, they're either telling you it's the Andy Kaufman guy or the guy who invented calling women's breast puppies, not the 37 million time Tennessee heavyweight champion of the world, great wrestler Jerry the King Lawler. You know, so I think that's the sticking point. Like, Renee Young wore so many hats and she wore them very well that it's almost like, I don't know what I would describe her as. Correspondent, host, because she did all of those roles, did all of them above par. So it's one of those things where it's like, and I'm not trying to like no offense to her, because I think the world of her. I think she's great in the roles that she did. It's just I can't pinpoint a commentary team that I would put her on that's ahead of.
She's great on podcasts, too, for the record.
I know.
She's definitely not in a Mount Rushmore. Her commentary team.
Yeah, that's fine.
Teams are not in Mount Rushmore.
And I don't think that's her. I think that's who she was paired with.
Yeah, and the era that she was in.
Correct. It all played a role.
On commentary, Bischoff?
I liked Bischoff on Nitro and all that stuff before he became a member of the NWO. But once the whole NWO thing started, it became more of a, I need to be on commentary to plug the NWO. It became...
Yeah, I mean, WCW had good teams It just, I didn't watch enough until the Attitude Era. So, and then, then it didn't matter because it was all about just whatever each company was doing at that point to one up the other one.
Listening to Dusty Rhodes do commentary was very fun. WCW. Like, I wouldn't put any of his teams on Mount Rushmore, but like going back and watching old Fall Brawl War Games and having him on commentary. I've been in this match 155 bajillion times. I've bled with everybody. This match is so riveting. Like, just listening to him commentate on War Games was so fun.
I actually liked also. Go ahead, Jim.
War games! War games! War games! War games!
I actually also like Jesse and Jim Ross. It was very short-lived at WCW, early '90s when Jesse.
Yeah, that was before me.
Right, that was actually pretty.
Oh yeah, it was only like 2 or 3 shows. I don't even think it was many.
No, it was a year. It was about a year. '93. That was it. 1993. That's it.
Yeah, but I think they only had like 2 or 3 pay-per-views that year. They weren't big in the pay-per-view game yet.
Right. Also, Shivani and Jesse was pretty decent too, in both WWE and WCW. He actually did SummerSlam 1989.
Yep.
So,
dude, Shivani, like,
Shivani's so underrated, dude.
I don't. Maybe the CW run is soiling Shivani for me, but dude, that guy sounds like he couldn't give a fuck about being there every Wednesday.
Well, he's being muzzled in the same way. I mean, if you have Shivani, WCW Shivani in AEW, you might feel differently about it, probably.
Yeah, probably, but like,
that's a personal problem. Then that's him not bringing that same energy that he brought to WCW. Like I need to have him in my office.
They have him doing too many things. Like,
yeah.
Why the fuck is he doing commentary, backstage interviewing, on-stage interviewing, in-ring interviewing? Stop it.
Yeah, no, they should really turn like Dasha or somebody like that into the backstage.
Does Spanish commentary.
That's probably great.
Yeah, which is probably fantastic, but you can't tell me that there's not somebody else out there in this fucking business that can do backstage interviewing. WWE brings new people in all the time.
And it works.
Yeah. Like they got some fucking British dude on Monday Night Raw.
That's right. Well, still don't know his fucking name yet.
And Sarah Schreiber. And then they have like 2 women on Friday nights.
You miss Charlie Cruiser, don't you, Jim?
Oh, dude, she's so hot.
Bastard.
It's not even fair.
That Veronica Vaughn is one fine piece of ace.